Okay, here we go, last one, or last video. So in this one, we're going to take the r cis theta form and convert it to the a plus bi form, okay? There's a couple of ways that you can do this. I'm going to show you both ways here. The way that I prefer, and then the other way which you might prefer, and that's fine. So let's say we have 5 cis 80 degrees. All right, fine. And we want to change that into a plus bi form. Well, really, all you have to do, and we saw this on in one of the early videos, all you have to do is remember what that cis stands for. The cis stands for cosine of the angle plus I times the sine of the angle, right? That's what cis stands for. And then you just find the cosine of 80 and put my calculator in degree mode, find the cosine of 80. All right, so this is 5 times cosine of 80, which is 0.174, plus I times the sine of 80, which is 0.985, and then just distribute the 5. So 5 times 0.174 is 0.87. 5 times 0.985 is 4.93. Don't forget about your I, and there you go. There's your a plus bi. So we went from r cis theta to a plus bi just by kind of unabbreviating the cis, calling it cosine plus I sine, taking the cosine and sine of the angle, distributing the 5. Now the other way that you could do this would be to kind of plot it like we were last time. So if your angle's 80 degrees, that's kind of a big angle, right? So here's your triangle. Here's your triangle. And the radius is 5. So to find this side of the triangle, right, we learned that's like the x or the a side. It's so a plus bi. The a is the real number part, right? This is the real axis. So this is the real number part, which is just r times the cosine of the angle. And then b is this side of the triangle, and that's r times, 5 times the sine of the angle, and then don't forget the I. So, you know, that's just as easy, if not easier, just to remember how we find those two sides of the triangle. Now, you know, that was two of our 4 pillars. The horizontal side is r cosine theta, the vertical side is r sine theta, and that's all I did here. And then you do 5 cosine 80, just like we did up here, which is going to give you 0.87. And then you do 5 sine 80, just like I did up here, 5 times the sine of 80, and that gives you 4.93. Don't forget about the I, and there you go. So let's take, let's do one more. Let's do root 7 cis 5 pi over 9, and let's change that to a plus bi form, okay? So the first way you could do, well, I'm going to do them in backwards order from what I did last time. 5 pi over 9, you got to figure out what quadrant is that in. So 5/9 is a little bit more than a half, right? Because 5/10 would be a half, and this is 5/9, so that's 5/9 is bigger than 5/10, so this is a little bit more than a half. So that means we're going to be in the second quadrant. So our angle here is 5 pi over 9, and then our radius is root 7. Okay, so for our a plus bi, here's the cool thing about it. You don't even need that reference angle. Don't use the reference angle. That's your theta. So a is this side of the triangle. That's your radius times the cosine of the angle. Plus b is this side of the triangle. That's the radius times the sine of the angle. We don't want to use the reference angle because if the cosine of the angle or the sine of the angle is negative, which I'm telling you here, it's going to be negative, right? Because it's going left, this guy is going to end up being negative. We want it to be negative, and if you just use the reference angle, it'll never end up being negative. Don't forget about your I. So we'll go square root of 7. I need to put myself back in radian mode here. We'll do square root of 7 times the cosine of 5 pi over 9. And that gives me, there it is, negative 0.46. And then I'll do square root of 7 times the sine of 5 pi over 9. And that gives me 2.61, and then we put our I in there. And that's our A plus BI number. Now, the other way to do this would just be to unabbreviate the cis. So cis 5 pi over 9 means cosine 5 pi over 9 plus I times the sine of 5 pi over 9. And then you take root 7 times the cosine 5 pi over 9 and get negative 0.46. Root 7 times the sine of 5 pi over 9, get the 2.61, and don't forget about the I. And that's all there is to it. So I hope that helps if you're having trouble converting between polar form and standard form. There you go. Thank you very much. I am out. Get to work on the 6.6 homework if you haven't already. I will see you soon on Monday, hopefully. Bye-bye.